We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Another setback to Biden's climate agenda. Oregon reverses drug legalization and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lupkin, and here's the news you need to know. The strongest earthquake to hit Taiwan in 25 years killed at least 9 people and damaged roads and buildings, including some that partially collapsed on the island's east coast. The quake, which was centered about 11 miles south of the city of Hualien, struck just before 8 a.m. local time with a preliminary magnitude of 7.4, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. All of the deaths were recorded in Hualien County, with more than 900 injured in Hualien and other parts of Taiwan, Taiwan's National Fire Agency reported. Japan has been put on alert for possible tsunamis from the quake. Donald Trump is leading President Biden by a slim margin in 6 of the 7 most competitive states in the 2024 election, propelled by broad voter dissatisfaction with the national economy and deep doubts about Biden's capabilities and job performance, according to a new Wall Street Journal poll. The poll of the election's main battlegrounds shows Trump holding leads of between 2 and 8 percentage points in the 6 states: Pennsylvania, Michigan, Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, and North Carolina, on a test ballot that includes third-party and independent candidates. Trump holds similar leads when voters are asked to choose only between him and Biden. The one outlier is Wisconsin, where Biden leads by 3 points on the multiple candidate ballot and where the 2 candidates are tied in a head-to-head matchup. The margin of error in this poll is 4 points. A federal district court has overturned the Biden administration's climate rule that required states to track and set reduction goals for greenhouse gas emissions from vehicles on highways. In a sweeping judgment late Monday, Judge Benjamin Beaton of the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Kentucky ordered the Federal Highway Administration to stand down on the rules, which the agency finalized in November. The ruling represents a major victory for the state of Kentucky, which challenged the regulations alongside 21 other states. President Biden's radical environmental agenda has lost touch with reality, and Kentucky families, farmers, and workers are paying the price, State Attorney General Russell Coleman said on Tuesday. Like all Americans, Kentuckians love our trucks, cars, and vans. With this victory in court, we're slamming the brakes on the Biden administration's politics that make no sense in the Commonwealth. Kentucky filed the lawsuit in December, 1 month after the FHWA finalized the regulations. According to the lawsuit, the FHWA overstepped its legal authority in attempting to regulate vehicle emissions since it attempted to force states to implement federal regulations. Oregon has legislatively completed its U-turn on a short-lived liberal policy that decriminalized the possession of small amounts of certain drugs. Oregon Governor Tina Kotek on Monday signed into law a bill that reverses Measure 110, a 2020 law that voters approved to decriminalize most illegal possession of controlled substance offenses and redirect much of the state's marijuana tax revenue to fund grants for addiction services. Around 58% of Oregon's residents approved the initial measure, but since then, addiction and overdose deaths have skyrocketed in Oregon and nationwide as fentanyl sweeps across the country. In August, 56% of Oregonians said they disapproved of the pioneering drug law, and both Republicans and Democrats introduced legislation to roll back the controversial measure. Oil prices on Tuesday rose to their highest level since October as investors closely monitored fresh supply threats amid an escalating conflict in the Middle East and a Ukrainian drone strike on a major Russian oil refinery. Futures have largely been trading in a narrow interval between $75 and $85 per barrel since the start of the year, but heightened geopolitical risk and robust economic data appear to have prompted a move higher. OPEC member Iran has blamed Israel for a deadly airstrike Monday on its consulate in the Syrian capital of Damascus that reportedly killed 7 of its officers. Tehran on Tuesday pledged to take revenge for the attack, which was seen as a major escalation in the Israel-Hamas war. Israel has not declared responsibility, and a government spokesperson said they would not comment on foreign media reports, according to Sky News. California franchise operator Alex John estimates his 10 restaurant locations will be out $470,000 due to the state's new minimum wage law. Restaurants in California are starting to take their own action, showing disapproval of the newly enacted statewide $20 minimum wage. We have a very finite set of economic conditions that need to be met for us to make money, and certainly this bill has cast doubt as to whether we can continue in this state, Alex Johnson, owner of 5 Cinnabon and 5 Auntie Anne's locations in San Francisco, said on Varney and Company on Tuesday. I've already started to invest in the neighboring state of Nevada, he continued, where there just isn't so much regulation. There isn't so many different types of people telling you how to run your business. Johnson is reportedly committed to only invest in future franchise opportunities in Nevada, claiming that California's recent $20 minimum wage law will cost him the $470,000 across the 10 restaurants. Franchisees such as Cinnabon and Auntie Anne's are suffering most because you cannot raise the price of a cinnamon bun or a pretzel to $10 to $12. Criminals with ties to MS-13 and other gangs are selling fake green cards and Social Security cards to migrants on street corners in Queens, a dangerous security threat as illegal immigrants pour into New York. The false documents are being sold in broad daylight at 4 different corners along Roosevelt Avenue in Queens for $80 to $250. Armed with such ID, a person could load up a truck with bombs and bring it underneath the Holland Tunnel and create something major and disastrous, warned Bruce Folkart, a former special agent in charge of Homeland Security investigations in New England. For someone that wants to do terrorist activity or is a national security threat, it's easy to establish this second life within the U.S., said Folkart. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.